Was after midnight when the rest of the band strike up. It's then I realized that this party will never stop. I'm weary like a bull and sweating from head to toe. But the spaceman only shouting, go Mr. Earthling, go. They're singing and shouting in a funny language, a language that was over beyond my knowledge. The session looked like it really had no ending. The more they play, the more people come in. Everybody happy, jumping up and down in the party, waving up their body. Everyone enjoying the party. Stop singing and shouting. I see them little spacemen, so down with them with body. Everyone enjoying the party. Everybody in the party, well they happy, making merry. I can't believe the time come already, just like Freddy. I feel a tempo beating down in the belly steady. I hear that Satan coming down with a big orchestra. His marching tongue when Lucifer joined the big fiesta. Well, it's big commotion with the brass and Stephen, like the whole of Central. It's now in a trance. The magic of them rhythm
Pop it up.
is from them bass drum.
Hey, once again.
Could tell that
Hey, birthday greetings going out to Mama Rose.
the music so sweet. All that Central shake it.
Drawing down to an end.
And it all that Shubemo.
Right up to 7:59 p.m.
And we going non-stop. All that we jumping now till the end of last lap.
Hey, sounds of the man.
Coming down,
The mighty swallow.
20,000 strong. Want to make this on earth, making that now. For the carnival, jumping in the street, when we feel the heat. can't even tell you what happened. He done a ball for murder. Mother telling Jessica, Hollywood, Hollywood, yeah man, Hollywood, Hollywood, aye, Jessica, 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 Hollywood, Dixie, she boom, see, Hollywood, I feel he go kill she, Hollywood, who what a calling, Hollywood, I'm not gonna cry, Hollywood, if he can you, Hollywood, and if he like you, Hollywood, if he bite you, Hollywood, and if he kiss you.
Hey, Mama Rose, like you're making a little overtime.
He's a monster.
Hi.
He just left me over and over. Oh. And before I could say good evening,
Hey, my first program. Hey, for 2024. What the way to start?
have no time and no season, lashing me without reason. The episode is a habit. I even get into like it. Hollywood, Hollywood, Jessica, Hollywood. I said Hollywood, aye, Jessica, 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 Hollywood. Listen to me, Hollywood. I feel he gon' kill she. Hollywood. Who much I call him? Hollywood. I'm not gonna cry. Hollywood. If he charm you, Hollywood. And if he like you, Hollywood. If he bite you, Hollywood. And if he kiss you, yeah man.
Hey, one more tune. And then we segue into the real program. Real talk.
Look at so in wet, I went down real swell. You bet, driving me insane. I don't mind the heat, 'cause I love the beat. Carnival is my middle name. I hear in town, I hear in a iron. From Hotman, keeping a kind of man. Music time, so we have to carry on. From 4 the morning to bedtime. Tuesday.
Yeah, we'll bring down the curtains with this one.
I was going to catch a train in the subway when I hear a strange song coming from down there. So I see people, so I hear music. The young and the old, if you see antics. Scooby, Mike and Gemma, Messiah, Sugar Finger, all them DJs take over. Imagine them DJ have New York subway like Eastern Parkway every day. Trinidad them jamming down in the subway. Antigua jamming down in the subway. Egyptians back up the New York subway. Cartolians back up the New York subway. The sniffers and the drinkers and the smokers and the winers subway jam. Every subway station steaming with action. The place like a disco, no train in motion. The man in the booth that's selling the token. Leave the booth and come to join in the action. The 2, 4, 5 and the 3 I, R, T and the D, A, F and the G. All train man take a rest, local and the express. All day music in excess. Grenadians jamming down in the subway. Jamaicans jamming down in the subway. Concessions pack up the New York subway. Dominicans pack up the New York subway. The smokers and the drinkers and the sniffers and the winers subway. From 241st down to Grand Central, Coney Island and up to Canal. The Amtrak line down in Penn Station. People flock the subway by thousand. Imagine an ordinary day just like a big holiday. Action tight in the subway. All work cease to go on. People come out for fun. Mr. Music Man, don't stop the jam. St. Lucian jamming down in the subway. Monstration jamming down in the subway. The Tomians pack up the New York subway. Crucians pack up the New York subway. The smokers and the drinkers and the sniffers and the winers subway jam.
Studios, located in the capital city of St. John's, Antigua in the Caribbean Sea.
Okay, stop that!
And our transmitter, located at the highest point, peak in the parish of St. Mary. This is ZDK Liberty Radio International, 97.1 FM, the People's Radio Station.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's get ready to rumble!
Yeah, I told you, you have to stand for something. Sometime at a time, it might be a lot of vibes and things and stuff. But yo, just stand up, man. You have to stand up as a man, you know. Any man that can't stand up for what they believe in, then the word, the style, and then walk over jet.
Say that again.
Yeah, I told you.
Say that again.
Any man that can't stand up for what they believe in, you hear? I'm saying the word, the style, and then walk over.
Tell them no, I'm nobody's Negro. I only promoting truth that they cannot refute. I tell them no, definitely no, I'm nobody's Negro. Righteousness is my best friend, ethics and morals I defend them. I tell them no, no damn reward could turn me so. Yesterday, today, tomorrow, I'm nobody's Negro, no, no, no. Oh my, oh Lord, and I'm a riggy diggy that with the killy thing, diggy diggy diggy. Oh Lord, oh no. Diggy diggy dabba, 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 diggy diggy dabba, 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 in the
Why yo 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 yo? Why yo 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 yo? Why yo why yo? Why yo why yo? Sometimes life just bring you to your knees. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And sometimes life just bring you everything you need.
Let me just say good night, Antigua Barbuda.
You have to learn how to.
Hey, welcome to the Real Talk Show.
You have to.
Saturday the 20th of January 2024.
You have to learn how.
The first one for the year. So let me just say all the best and Happy New Year
Move.
to each and everyone.
Blessings you can't stop it.
Let me say good night to St. Kitts and Nevis.
All you want to you can't.
Hey, good night, Angola. Montserrat.
Can't rock.
Hey, how you doing, Madeline?
Can't rock it.
Let me say good night to Dominica. St. Lucia.
That's why I go stay great.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Good to me, he keep blessing.
Barbados.
Faithful.
Grenada.
All of the try.
Hey, going as far down south as Ghana and Trinidad and Tobago.
I never had to beg food always on the table.
Hey, good night, one and all.
Sometimes.
Hey, to those who are locked into us via the World Wide Web. Yeah, you better join us on the website.
You really have.
www.radiozk.com.
Times life just have to rip.
Or you very well might have joined us via our Facebook Live platform.
But you have to learn.
Hey, that's ZDK Liberty Radio 97.1.
You have to.
Or you might be tracking
Firm in your place.
or following us
You have to learn.
on Real Talk
Mountains.
on Facebook.
Move out your way. Move.
Welcome.
Blessings you can't stop.
Hey, new year, new challenges.
All you want to you can't block it.
Let's keep calling on the Almighty God for strength, and He will carry us through.
No, you can't rock it.
Hey, songs of the man Tian Winter. This one he tags Grateful.
Cause they're grateful.
I'm going to be featuring this one in the beginning of the program.
Be faithful. Although they try to bring me down.
Hey, good lyrics,
Unable.
applicable lyrics.
Had to beg food always on the table. So I'm grateful. Boy, yeah.
Let me just say good night to St. Lucia again.
Boy, yeah.
Alcest Joseph. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Yeah.
Hey, good night to you.
Cause my blessings you can't stop it. And you can try all you want to, you can't block it.
That's true.
My foundation firm and you can't rock it. No, you can't rock it.
Hey, tell them Tian.
Why yo.
The scripture to cover tonight's program is taken from the book of Psalm 98 and verse 1.
Times
And it reads,
just bring it to.
Oh, sing unto the Lord a new song, for he hath done marvelous things. His right hand and his holy arm hath gotten him the victory.
Yeah.
Once again,
You have to learn how to roll with.
oh, sing unto the Lord a new song, for he hath done marvelous things. His right hand and his holy arm hath gotten him the victory.
Them to move.
The word of God coming to us from the book of Psalms, Psalms 98 and verse 1.
Since you can't stop,
Let me just say a special good night to Miss Patricia Gums,
do you can't block.
down there in the Hatton area, I think it is.
Confirm,
Hey, good night, Miss Gums.
rock it.
Hey, to my little sister Nicole and her family over there in the Mount Pleasant area. Hey, to my other sisters.
Stay great.
Hey, good night, Bridget.
Jaja, he good.
Also, Nola.
See me, cause he fair.
Hey, to my many, many nieces, especially Joanne, Denise.
Not able.
Hey, Bernadette.
Never had to beg food always on the table.
Also, to my many nephews.
Full of bread.
Hey, let me say good night to Austin. What's up, Zian?
Life just put all kind of thing in your pot.
And to my many, many cousins. Cousin Annette.
Have it
Annette James Brown over there in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
to rip you apart.
Also to cousin Halima Thomas. She's in Orlando, Florida.
Learn how to roll with the punch.
And once I'm stateside, let me just say good night to my second mom over there.
You play
Hey, that's Sister Jean Golston.
to learn
Hey, what's up, Jumbo? Be sure to kiss mom for me.
them to move out your way.
Hey, right back here in Antigua. My other second mom.
Blessings you can't stop it.
Over there in the Nut Grove area. Loretta Hunt.
One, two, you
Hey, what's up, Loretta? Been a while.
can't rock it.
And let me say good night also to my other second mom down yonder.
Can't
Hey, that's Cassie.
and
Hey, how you doing, Cassie?
faithful.
Hope and trust that all is going good.
He keep blessing me cause he faithful. Although they try to bring me down.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yo. Oh, yo. Oh, yo. Sometimes
Hey, to my stepmother.
just bring you to
Over there in the Berlin's area. That's East Potters. Hey, good night, Miss Christophine Lewis.
times
I hope and trust that all is going good.
need. Yeah, yeah.
And let me just say good night also.
With the punches.
Hey, to family friend extraordinaire. Bamsey!
Face.
Hey, that's Mrs. Winifred Christopher and her family.
The amount.
Down there in the Cooksville area.
Move.
I hope and trust that all is good.
Blessings.
Hey, last time I saw her was at Fitzroy.
One, two,
Fitzroy funeral.
yeah.
Hey, look well dapper.
Man, you can't rock.
Hey, big up yourself, Winnie.
Can't rock it. You can't stop it. And that's why I go stay grateful. And Jaja, he good to me. He keep blessing me cause he faithful. Although they try to bring.
Ah, yes.
How they not get.
Boy, today's what, the 20th?
I never had to beg food.
Feels like a long time.
So I'm grateful.
So many things have happened over the last month to 2 months.
Put all kind of thing in your pot.
Trust me.
Is that just to see what you really have in your heart? And
Yeah, I normally would have an extra
you apart, yeah. To build you back.
to take me into my commercials after my introduction.
Roll with the punches. You
I think I'm going to go with this one tonight. It's kind of applicable to me.
have to learn
Yeah, life have many scenes, boy.
to move.
Sometimes I don't know when the scene is going to change.
Cause
Hey, keep that in mind, my people.
you can't stop it. And you can try and
Don't sweat the small stuff.
block it.
That's my advice to you.
Man, you can't rock it. No, you can't rock it. You can't stop it. And that's why I go stay grateful. And Jaja, he good to me. He keep blessing me cause he faithful.
Yes, you're listening to ZDK Liberty Radio, 97.1 FM.
Look up.
Stay tuned. We will be right back.
From a little cottage in number 3 Casada Gardens hails Rags to Rugs. 100% handmade antique and interwoven rag rugs by J. Lissa Lewis. We have various sizes of floor rugs, decorative wall hanging rugs, and table mats, uniquely and sustainably handmade. To purchase, send us a message via WhatsApp at 268-770-8088 for directions to our physical location, or we can deliver to you anywhere on Antigua absolutely free. Like and follow us on Facebook at Rags to Rugs Antigua and Made, on Instagram Rags to Rugs, or you can email us at ragstorugs@gmail.com. Don't forget, our rag rugs and table mats are machine washable and dryable. See you soon.
Elaine and Dad's Joseph Consultancy. We consult on labor relation matters, insurance, business matters, and politics. P.O. Box 2287, Francis Lane, Yorks Village, St. John's, Antigua Barbuda. Our email address, it's elaineanddadsjoseph@gmail.com. Telephone numbers 776-0200 or 464-4201. Contact us. We are here for you.
Yes, welcome back to Real Talk right here on ZDK Liberty Radio, 97.1 FM. Time in studio, 20 minutes after the 8 p.m. hour.
Leading up to the last election, I witnessed a fight between you people whistle stoppers.
Yes, Dave Josephine and company. I hope and trust you had a good day.
Battle was felt.
I did.
All over the place.
I'm feeling good.
So building.
For those who may not be feeling all that good, please say prayer.
Whose side I'm fighting?
Prayer works every time.
Make me angry. I decide to answer. I don't.
Not just sometimes. Prayer works all the time.
Neither is there a good chip in my body.
Let me just say good night to my good buddy.
I am too conscious to.
Hey, the man Plassy, a.k.a.
politicians and
Stonewall Jackson. Hey, big up yourself, King. He's down there in the Green Bay area. Hey, what's up, Fat Eye? All the best for the new year.
So I'm fighting.
Let me say good night also to Nalda Jarvis over there in the North Grove area. Hey, good night, Nalda. Hey, good night to your brother also.
Oh, yeah.
Haven't heard from him in a while. Hope and trust that all is going good.
I'm fighting to save our native land.
Bappy dim bam. Let me just say happy birthday to those who are celebrating their birthday today.
Oh, yeah.
And those who have celebrated in the not too distant past. Let me just say belated birthday greetings. Hey, going out to Branty Isaac. Over there in the Wilkes area. She celebrated last Thursday. I think that was the 18th.
Surprise.
Hey, hope and trust you had a good birthday.
I didn't know that.
And also, advanced birthday greetings to those who will be celebrating in the not too distant future.
Not those road parties.
And let me just take the time to say advanced birthday greetings going out to my niece, Bernadette.
Beat what I said.
Hey, advanced birthday greetings, Bernadette.
Kushan.
She will be celebrating come Wednesday, the 24th of January. God spare life. Enjoy the day when it comes, Bernadette.
I am too conscious to be fighting for them service politicians and the political party in this island. If there's a chip under my skin, it's a national one. So I'm fighting for the redemption of this nation. Oh yes, I'm fighting. I say I'm fighting to safeguard our native land. Oh yeah. Please and while speaking, the political fracas intensified, and in the end, an innocent child was hospitalized. capitalize.
Yes.
Politicians grant
The time 8:23 p.m.
hearing.
Well, you know how it is with me.
Want
Again, as I said, I haven't been here for a while. We all know that.
you are the
Hey, but the way how I like to start is to run some PSAs having to do with, health.
your mind be
And trust me, boy,
so
as I said over the last 2 months, so much.
it's for them to prosper.
So that's how I'll start tonight.
I don't have
Reminding myself also. Very important to know what's happening with your body.
money.
And the only way you're gonna know that,
I am
you have to go to the doctor and get your regular tests and them kind of stuff.
politician.
Something just might pop up that you could deal with bright and early.
This island, if there's a chip under my skin, it's
I don't know what it is, boy.
so I'm fighting for the redemption of this nation. Oh yes, I'm fighting. I say I'm fighting to safeguard our native land.
Most of us take our eyesight for granted. And just as you wouldn't go to a doctor unless you felt ill, many of us don't bother having an eye test until we suspect that something's wrong. Yet regular eye tests are important, because unlike many parts of the body, your eyes don't tend to start hurting if your sight starts to fail. Problems with vision can be almost imperceptible at first. Regular eye checks mean that any issues with your eyes can be found early, often before you notice any symptoms, and many of these conditions can be treated if they're diagnosed early. It's recommended that people should have an eye test every 2 years. There are certain cases in which more frequent checks would be prudent, such as a child who already wears glasses, people with diabetes, those aged over 40 with a family history of glaucoma, and people aged 70 or over. And remember that eye tests aren't purely about making sure you still have 20/20 vision. A sight test can detect health conditions that affect your eyes, including diabetes and macular degeneration. Make the health of your eyes a priority.
The warning signs that somebody may be having a stroke involve inability to lift your arms, sudden inability to move one of your legs or walk, facial droop, difficulty speaking. And it's really important that if you or somebody around you has these symptoms, that you call 911 or get that patient to the emergency department as soon as possible, because we have some interventions that are very time sensitive that can work to rapidly reverse some of those symptoms. The time frame when you have stroke symptoms generally is minutes to hours. When you're alone and experiencing symptoms of stroke, you may be aware of them and you may not be. Some people having strokes are confused about why they're having a hard time speaking and are confused why what they want to say isn't what is coming out of their mouth. When you call 911 to report somebody you think may be having a stroke, it's important that you communicate that to the dispatchers. We can have minutes to hours to get symptoms on board or procedures completed in order to reverse stroke symptoms. If this is happening to you, it's important that you call 911.
To have the stroke than this one,
Regular health exams and tests can help find problems before they start. They also can help find problems early, when your chances for treatment and cure are better. Which exams and screenings you need depends on your age, health and family history, and lifestyle choices such as what you eat, how active you are, and whether you smoke.
To make the most of your next checkup, here are some things to do before you go. Review your family health history. Find out if you are due for any general screenings or vaccinations. Write down a list of issues and questions to take with you.
Yes, so to those of you who would have heard that, encourage your loved ones, your family to, go to the doctor and see what's happening and accompany them if you have to. I think that's very, very important. For those of us who have vehicles, we're quite aware of the whole preventative maintenance route that we go. We make sure that if we hear a noise in our cars or our vehicles, we check it out to see exactly what's happening. Let's treat our bodies like that. I think it's very important. And from time to time, I will run these or continue to run these because, as I said, it's important. It's very, very important. Let's spread the word. Let's spread the word. Let's spread the word. Let's spread the word. I'm just looking at the the Facebook Live comments, and I'm just having a chuckle. You know, how much for a bottle of Coke? Boy, I can't tell you how much for a bottle of Coke right now. I haven't drank Coke like that now for the last, 2 months. I'm trying to cut back on that. I don't know. I think, I bought one for somebody the other day, and the person was selling it for $6. You know, the small one in the plastic bottle? $6. I'm not sure what the can is for, if it's $4 or $5. I know the big bottle, the 2 liter bottle, ranges from between nine something to $10. Yes, I know some people selling it for 9, some selling it. I know one shop that's selling it for 10. So that is what it is. But I'm not into the Coke too much now. That's how I used to be. Ever so often I do have one. I'm more into the water part, not trying to do that. Flavored water sometimes, you know what I mean? But that's what I'm into. Make you put respect on the title. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know exactly what that part is about. Another man never said that. Jack the man say he would be nice if he can do a show on behalf of Kente. Oh, that was something. Yeah, some persons called me back a few weeks ago, we say, about that situation there. But people don't get yourself to all tangled up in them kind of things there. You know what I mean? Don't get you all tangled up in them kind of things there. As a matter of fact, I had put a post on my Facebook page where I indicated that I love the comrades. You know what I mean? There's some of them I can't stand because of you know, certain things. But I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with the comrades. I don't. You know, as I said to somebody today, nothing in life, ever since my mom and my dad passed, nothing in life surprised me. Nothing. I can't be surprised by nothing. The most I'll say, I see the Bible fulfilling itself, or you know, I might be disappointed in someone. You know, somebody do something they don't expect. You might be disappointed, but to be surprised, no. So for those persons who are you know, no bad with that. Life is about forward movement. I'm quite comfortable here at ZDK. When Sean approached me after I left Point FM, you know, he said, "Well, look, you know what you're doing. You just go and do your thing." You know what I mean? You know, it's about you be careful what people come in here and say in terms of exposing the station to suit and that kind of stuff. But by and large, that was it. You know, you just tell me that I'm here. I heard a record. I'm going to play it later. I see them don't have it lined up for me to play down in Sean folder. But I've heard some persons say that they got instructions, or sometimes they get instructions when they go on radio. Well, I can tell anybody or everybody. Ever since I've been working ever since I started this, I started at Observer, left Observer, went to Variety, left Variety, came to ZDK for a short while, left ZDK, went down to Point FM, now back at ZDK, and nobody has ever attempted to instruct me what to say or give me instructions and the kind of stuff, because I don't mean into that. That is never going to happen. Sometimes you say some things and they're not really comfortable. You see it from their gesture. They talk to other people and other people talk to, and you know that. You know what I mean? But no. I can't lie on nobody at all in relation to where I'm at now. In ZDK, that is. I can't, as I said, the only conversation that I had with Sean back then was this is what he said to me. As a matter of fact, I could count on one hand the number of times me and Sean have spoken. You know, I've spoken about anything. We had a chat. Today's what? Saturday. We had a chat maybe about two days ago or so. I'll inform you, my listeners, by next week, God Spare Life, and we're having some discussions, and we'll just move on from there. You know what I mean? And that's that. So, people, you know, just rest. What they say? Dry your powder. Don't worry. Nothing lasts forever. So I'm not at all of the opinion that I'll be at ZDK forever. Because nothing lasts forever for one reason or next. That's what the good book say. And I believe in the good book. But I can't tell nobody at all that I have anybody peeking over my shoulder, telling me what to say, as I would have heard other people saying. Also, I see, looking still at the board, I'm not into the name calling. I have no issues. And let me just go on record with that and leave that there. I have no issues with Point FM. I see some people calling it a particular name. I'm not getting into that. I'm grateful for the time I was at Point FM. It is a part of the learning process for me, which get better every time you go in here. You get more knowledge every time you go in here. So I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for the opportunity that I got that I had down at Point FM. So I'm not going to be getting into the name calling. At one point in time, ZDK was being referred to in a disparaging way by some people. And those very persons are now looking at, using the services here at ZDK. So you have to be careful when you speak sometimes, You have to be careful, know what you're saying, because you just never know what's going to happen in a day, in a week, or in a month. There is this feeling in the country that the position our Prime Minister took against the IMF years ago might be hamstrung in him in certain ways now. As things get tighter and tighter internationally, they might want to go back to the IMF. So we have to be careful how we speak. So I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to get into that at all. I'm thankful for the time I was at Point FM. We've had not me and Point FM, but some persons down at Point FM. And we have our own opinion, and we see things how we see things. And as my mom always tell me, if two not agree, separate. Simple as that. No, here's how it simply be. If two not agree, separate. Simple as that. And that is where I am. So that is where that is. I didn't really intend to get into that, but just looking at the comments on the Facebook Live, I just wanted to get that out of the way so people know. When I left Point FM, I decided that I was going to expand on social media. I got a friend of mine to set up my Real Talk page and that kind of stuff. And that is the way I see myself doing things going forward. That's where, if I'm not at a radio station, that's how I'll make my contribution to Antigua and Barbuda, because I will attempt to make a contribution to Antigua and Barbuda once I'm able to do it. I'm not going to just sit idly by and allow people to come and tell you ignorance and shut you up and that kind of stuff. No, them days are gone. Them days are gone a long time. Now I'll come back again. Anyway, that is my little discussion on that. I heard my partner Maserati. Let me just say good night to Maserati. Maserati, I have some phone issues, and the number that you called me from the other day, I cleaned out my phone and I didn't save the number. So if you can call me back or have the person send me a WhatsApp from the number that I could save it, that I could give the caller balls to see if you're around or whatever the case is, and pass and check and see how things is. I would appreciate that, King. So let me just say that. Yes, I heard Maserati, and when I heard Maserati, all kind of emotions came through me when I heard it. You know what? Before I go there, let me play it. Where is it? Bam, 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 bam.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Blessed New Year to everybody in the studio.
Blessed New Year to you too.
Yeah.
All the best.
Mr. Prime Minister?
Yes, sir.
This one is for you, sir. This is Dr. Maserati, sir. I'm trying to get to you for the last 2.5 months now, and I can't get to you. And I'm not in a good condition.
Well, hold on a second. I'm aware. I believe about, 2 weeks ago we spoke on here, and we're trying to work out something for you. I'll send you a message to let you know precisely what.
Mr. Prime Minister?
You heard what the pen just said? You heard what he said, Maserati?
No, listen to me carefully. I said it's my own personal business. I wanted to look after my social security and all kinds of and I'm not get that. And he just, I'm in a desperate situation. Me wonder what me do people. Me want me to do nobody look after me. My yaya go bad. Like me blind, Mr. Prime Minister. And not a soul looking after me. Come here, gone bad.
All
Oh.
I was say thank God to the weapons and them who are always giving the little food to eat. And me know what happened to me. And nobody look. What am I do people?
So let me ask you a question. You have an issue with your Social Security pension payment?
Mr. Prime Minister, I'm working 3 years now. I'm getting Social Security.
Okay. How you're not sick? Well, he probably hasn't reached the age.
No, Mr. Prime Minister, my eye gone bad.
I believe he hasn't reached the age.
Well, tell you what, maybe what we need to do, we can probably get him the PDV cab program. So I'm going to ask Comrade Donna to link with you. But look, Comrade, you have to reach a pensionable age to draw pension.
Yeah.
Mr. Prime Minister, I read it.
I don't know if Social Security, if you can base on your
condition. We can get it. So
I'll check it out. I'll find out.
Oh, they told you that you can get it
yes,
once you...
Mr. Prime Minister, I'm bringing the doctor paper. I said that my eye is sick.
And you took the information in?
We don't do the letter from Public Works already.
Okay.
I just forget the doctor paper. No, okay. Carrying to them.
Oh, so you haven't completed the documentation then, based on what you're saying? Well, complete the documentation and we'll follow up on it. So take in the doctor's paper, as you put it, certificate, and we'll follow up on it for you. But they can't action it until they get the certificate.
I know that. Mr. Prime Minister,
so then how are you going to come argue about your pension?
No, I don't. You don't want to show the way. It's bad with me, Mr. Prime. You don't want to let somebody know can't go to sleep and all and something. And 2 pieces of blanket and so. We don't like to talk about this. And I saw that other wickedness. We don't want to come so far. I'm feeling overbearing now. Me dead. I can't see too properly. Me blind and nobody look after me.
Maserati, we'll try our best to assist you. I told you that we're working on something. Be patient.
Maserati, you meet me the other day by one certain home, and you never addressed any of those issues with me, and you could have. Hold on. Meet me back by that same home there. When you get to that home, ask them to give me a call. You know exactly which home I'm talking about.
Yes.
Go to the home tomorrow and ask them to call me, and we will discuss, and I will put myself in a position to assist you.
You always put yourself in a position of help me. Well, let me tell you something. I'm going to pass by you. I'm see a man in your yard to somewhere. And
but we think you say
I'm really nice to that. They can't. You can't pass the cheese. So he not work until Brown come in. I'm going to say, Brown come in. I don't know where I'm talking.
Listen, just go to that home that
you're...
Because I was 2 months from my time to get to see him. I can't get to see him. I'm a person.
So here this, Maserati. Get the certificate, the Social Security. I'll follow up on your payment, see if they can accelerate it. You really you have not reached a pensionable age, but based on your disability, as confirmed by the doctor, because that has to be confirmed, then I hope they can accelerate it. Now, Donna will follow up on the PDV cab subsidy for you.
Yes.
All right.
Okay?
Yes.
Good. So and the housing part of it, we'll see what we can do to resolve that.
Mr. Prime Minister, Mr. Family living is on a window.
All right.
Maserati.
All right. You'll be taken care of.
Okay.
All right.
All right, Mr. Prime Minister. You do what I say?
And how you say can't see?
PFZ. Say down.
I can't see.
And you see people in the...
down the yard.
Down the yard.
I was about to come on my joke.
It's not a joke. It's not a joke. All right, Maserati. Take care.
Yeah, when I heard that exchange, you know, boy, the amount of things that ran through me, the amount of emotions that ran through me. Well, most of us, I believe, would know Maserati, and yes, Maserati is not an angel. I'll be the first to say that. Maserati is not an angel, but as I tell people all the time, you know, it's all about human beings and helping where we can help. And there is no way, in my mind, I know, or there's no way that I can, if I occupy certain positions in this country, and Night or somebody who normally would come in with me on the radio from time to time, and I know they have an issue, there's no way they would be like that. No way. I try my best and do certain things in Maserati. I don't want to really talk about that on here because I don't do it. I don't do it for no recognition and them kind of stuff. So I don't like that. I don't like to talk about that. Sometimes you try to engage that. I don't like it, you know. But I'm hoping. Let me just put it that way. I'm hoping that somebody follow through on the word, and they look out for Maserati. Good night, caller.
Good night, Beef. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, Big King?
Thanks that you say you look out for me.
Yeah, you know me, you're good. Even though hold on, even though some people say they make you now, no nothing go, so you know the some go.
All right, don't go down that road. Nobody makes nobody.
What's up, King?
Beef, that recording you just played a little while ago. That's Maserati, who used to sit down with Colin O'Neill, Senator Colin O'Neill, who is laughing at Maserati.
Well, that's true. That's the same Maserati.
You got to be kidding. It's the first time I'm hearing this.
This was from last week, if I'm not mistaken. There was another one that I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, I can't find it. Maybe I didn't save it.
That is the Maserati that goes to a radio station every morning for nearly 10 years. Batting for Gaston Brown?
Same one.
That is Maserati saying he lives with a house without window. On the floor here lie down as a Labour Party supporter.
Same Maserati.
No, Maserati need a happy home.
I can agree that.
I think send me that recording there so we can play up an observer, so we can get Raddy, policeman Raggy, for give Maserati a home.
No, I think Raggy in charge of the happy sum now. I think that fall on the social transformation. Remember that one?
Raggy?
Long time. Remember them has a fighting between, but I call the name. I'm not even say friend because I'm a friend. When they want to do something and certain persons in government say that they will take away from them and fire them and Dean and so. I think Raggy.
Happy home for Raggy?
Yeah, Happy is on the social transformation. That's the last thing I know. Raggy program is he has a name for his program. Raggy has a name for his program. But it's not a Happy. They kind of.
I remember when Kanye was beating it.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Initially, Raggy kind of was running the two programs. But then it had reached a stage where it went on a social transformation. If I'm not mistaken, I think Samantha was there, and then after Samantha moved and Dean went there, Dean and that's an issue. Remember this? I hear you playing this recording all the time with Frankie talking about ego social.
Yes.
Right. So that's the distinction there. That was under the ministry and not Raggy. But people minister that certain things. You know, me not say the party, but people say certain other things. Go ahead.
Beef, I was eating a shellfish, right? I had to stop listening to your recording.
I'm sorry about that.
No, honestly, I cannot believe. You see why I keep from these political parties? My God. One man say in 2024, he'll live in a house per floor with a cardboard under this economic powerhouse.
Even
one man who support Gaston Brown and Colin O'Neill laugh. Colin O'Neill and Donna Shire and Lamin and them laugh.
If the thing was not so serious, we're gonna carry on show you with it already, but we're not sure nobody talk.
Oh my God!
It's not too far from me.
I will continue listening to your program if I feel to call back in, but that hit me hard.
Well, let's hope. Let us hope
that recording so we can play, so you can get a support.
Let us hope that they come true. No,
Samantha Marshall, it sound good.
Samantha Marshall is not. Well, Samantha Marshall is not there now. Samantha Marshall is not. Where is she? Where's Samantha Marshall now?
Social transformation.
Samantha is still a social transformation. I think so.
Yes.
Okay. I didn't even realize that.
I think so. She's at social transformation.
Oh yes, you're right. Because that now falls under the Ministry of Health, right?
The health. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So continue your program, boss. I'm listening.
Well. Anyway, one thing we tell people all the while.
Nothing surprise you.
No, me don't get surprised by anything now. Even people who are close to me. I'm talking about family members. I say to them, I'm gonna take the opportunity. Now the opportunity presents itself. I tell my life, there's no way me champion the cause for no political party and want. Can't happen.
Yep. It's sad.
It can't happen.
Man say you go blind, and because he say you see somebody in a them big joke.
And I say you say go blind. If you see Maserati, who was talking to today? I was talking to somebody today.
I saw him
as
in
you
town
right,
walking,
and somebody,
like, he can't see where you go.
he has. I can't tell you what percentage of his sight he would have lost, but it seems bad to me. But here, joke, and if he didn't get no assistance now, and he get worse, what's gonna happen in a few months' time from now if he loses his sight?
Man.
Anyway, such is life. The Lord is good every time.
Talk to you.
All right, man. Take care, my friend.
You have a good show, man.
Bless. So I wanted to come, and again, as I said, I hope that persons who have the ability to assist Maserati, that they will assist Maserati in a meaningful way. And again, let me go on record again and say, I know Maserati is no saint. I know that. But at the end of the day, Maserati is a human being. You know what I mean? And he must have done something good at some point in time to the benefit of persons. You know what I mean? And that's how it is. But I know some of them don't love nobody. Me know that. Some of them don't love nobody. And that's that. Beef, you love confusion, and beef, you are such propaganda. All right, who is this? Phyllis Mary pick me. I don't know who that person is. Let me just welcome him to the program. Well, I think a man picture me today. Let me just welcome him to the program. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining us. Somebody said beef play the whole clip. I mean laugh too. Well, me not the whole program. Me not gonna play the whole program either. Me just take out what I think is important to me. So, as I said, let me just hope and trust that he gets the assistance that he need, and then we'll go from there. All right, so that is the first thing that I wanted to start off with. The next thing that I want to go to from there. Hey, by the way, if persons would want to join the program, I'm told that I don't say the number enough. The number is 462-1100. That's the number to call to get into the program if you want to share anything with the listening public, 462-1100, or if you want to send a WhatsApp, the WhatsApp number is 464-4201, 464-4201. We're on Facebook Live, so that's another platform that you have that if you want to leave your comments, you can do that. And from time to time, I try to check them. Sorry about that. From time to time, I try to check them to see, to kind of keep up with it. Not all the best, but not of the best, but I try to do that as best as I can. So that's the way how you can participate in the program if you so choose, or if you want to remain in the bunch, the silent majority bunch. Good for you. No problem there for me. Yes, as I was saying, now today I was having a conversation with somebody about the matter with our, and I'm going to say that for now, Chief Magistrate Joan Walsh. And as I look back at my notes, when the last program that I did in December, I did mention that. I touched on it, and I want to touch on it again tonight. I haven't heard nothing as to what's the latest on that. I think that there might have been an article where it was said that the chief magistrate had resigned her position after the tribunal. The tribunal was completed. I'm trying and asking all kind of people whether or not what's coming out of that body in relation to the tribunal, but I can't seem to hear nothing as yet. So I just decided that I would put it on the table again, ask about it. I'm not sure if anybody would have any information that they could share with us to know what's happening along the line. I see a discussion ongoing on with Minister Nicholas on the post cabinet press briefing where the journalists there, or some of the journalists, I believe it might be targeting Nikki. That is my opinion. I think so. Where they would use the opportunity to question the minister on matters that may not have been, 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 that may not have been discussed in cabinet as a follow-up to maybe this might have been one, something like this might have been one where they would have tried to follow up, what's the latest on the Citizenry Chief Magistrate, and the minister's position seems to be that the policy of the government is that the ministers for the different ministries are available. So if you would have to follow up something like this, I believe that this would be followed up with the Attorney General, because I would assume that it falls under legal affairs, and that they will give you the information that you seek. Well, that's what he says in theory. I don't know if he's familiar with the reality and the practicality of how Antigua run. You know what I mean? But I will just continue to try to have these discussions publicly until we hear something. Because I don't believe it could be 9 days talk and that's it. It not happen. At least not once I'm alive. So if anybody out there have any information, any update as to what's the latest situation with the Chief Magistrate, share it with us. Share it with us. I had a discussion with somebody who gave me an opinion in relation to the resignation, etc. Sounds plausible to me. But as again, we're looking for something official, either from the minister, and I'm assuming that it falls under legal affairs. If it's not, then somebody can correct me. But we need to hear something as to what exactly is happening. Is it that they held the tribunal and that's it? Nothing has happened after that? Or something might have been passed to somebody and we're not hearing about that? We need to, I'm not even going to say change. We just need to talk more about that here. We have government or persons in government or government agents or agencies have this belief that the information that is public information is their private information to keep. You know what I mean? And we need to begin to kick against that. So that is what I just wanted to sort out with that. Within recent times also, I have had the opportunity to read two articles, two opinion pieces that Lennox Western would have put out. Might be in all the newspapers and them, but I normally, it's easier for me to go to the Antigua newsroom. That's just more accessible to me. So I see them there. I'm not sure if they're within the Daily Observer and if they're carried in Point FM. Not Point FM, Point Express. I'm not sure if it's carried in Point Express, but I've seen two articles, two opinion pieces written by Mr. Western, and I wanted to congratulate him on them. I even, in the comment section, attached my name to a comment there on those two pieces. I think that they were well balanced. One was, am I the only one outraged? And that was on the 4th of January 2024. And that had to do with a young lady who died during childbirth. She died during childbirth. That was one piece where basically he was saying, yes, it is a situation where there's privacy issues. Yes, that is true. But at the same point in time, there is also public interest in that. I have heard people tell me, more than one person have told me, anything, look, trying to put yourself in a no way, that you have to go up to Celeste Bird Medical Center. It's not, at least from my angle here, I'm not bashing the workers, I'm not bashing the institution, I'm just saying the reality of what is on the street. The institution simply does not have the backing or the endorsement of a sizable portion of the population. We've heard all kind of stories. The last thing I would have read was that there might have been an issue with the ACON system. I do know from asking questions again that there's some works being done I think that there's some work being done on the floor, and I'm not sure as yet whether the Aiken thing has started or they're trying to kind of patch it until they get some new parts or something or some new system or something. But I know that, yes, it is true that work is ongoing. But this is where we find ourselves in terms of where the plant is at in 2024. So that first piece, am I the only one outraged with the young lady? I haven't heard nothing coming from the hospital, coming from the ministry to give any general reassurance to the public. I haven't heard that as yet. I don't know if I missed it. I might have. Somebody can tell me if I did. And also, on the 16th, that's a few days ago, he penned another piece. That one he captioned, or was captioned, privatization of cancer center could be a death sentence in Antigua and Barbuda. That was written on the 16th of January, 2024. And I would encourage persons, if you haven't had the opportunity to read those two pieces, do that. Again, the first one was written on the 4th of January, 2024. Am I the only one outraged? And the second one was privatization of cancer care could be a death sentence in Antigua and Barbuda. That was written on the 16th of January. 16th of January, yes, 2024. Well, we would have heard, for those of us who follow what's happening in the news, that not this week, last week, might be last week, a group, including Dr. Joy John, I believe, made a pitch to the cabinet in relation to taking over or investing in the cancer center. I appreciate that the cabinet would have the right to study what is before them, maybe even seek relevant advice in the area if they don't have the expertise. I agree to that. That has to happen. But again, what I see happening in Antigua more and more nowadays is that consultative phase between the elected members and the public is sorely lacking and wanting. And I get the impression even that some of these members of parliament believe that they don't necessarily have to account, if you want to call it that, or say anything. You vote for me to make the decision, to run the thing, maybe do that, may have to talk to you. That's not how it works in the modern days. That's not how it works in the modern days. So there must be a balance between cabinet looking at information and things coming before it, and in a general way getting information to the public who would have an interest in what is happening. I heard along the way that it was said that, well, let me reverse a bit. After there was a breakdown and the government forcibly acquired the property and that kind of stuff, it was said that persons who had to do treatment would be sent wherever at the government expense, etc., etc., etc. I think somebody mentioned Colombia and some places. I heard either in the news or someplace on the radio, I heard that persons who are traveling, that they have to foot their airfare and accommodations. That's what I heard on the radio. If it's not true, somebody can correct me, but that's what I heard on the radio. And of course, if they're traveling with somebody, that's another added expense. The breakdown of shares in a general way, from what I would have heard, was 80-20. 80% going to private investors, 20% to the government. I was talking to somebody and they told me that the 80% is further broken down. The gentleman's wife have a percentage, etc., etc., etc. apparently, the arrangement is, or was, from what I learned, is that whatever is being done up there, small, medium, or large, in relation to services offered to Antiguans, is that medical benefit would pay to the institution 10,000 US. That's what I was told. 10,000 US. And there seemingly was a vision that persons from the region would be coming here for treatment, and there would be an injection of monies from that angle. That didn't seem to pan out from what I'm hearing. With that arrangement, the investor is saying that can't work. Remember, I said it's 10,000 US per person. I'm hearing can't work, and it apparently went to where it went to. I remembered hearing the Prime Minister speaking about it, and I've been trying to find the recording. I have the recording. I just haven't located that particular area. But he was speaking about it on his program. Might have been 2 weeks ago. But he wasn't there today. Not last week. Might have been the week before that. And I heard him mentioning in a general way what they might have to go to with the new investors, etc. But at the time, I wasn't really that keen on it, on information. But having read Mr. Weston's piece, I started to dig back, because again, as I said, in all the discussion that's ongoing, the public is not hearing nothing. And if it is a situation where you're moving from the 10,000 US per patient, small, medium, or large, whatever is happening, what is the arrangement that cost-wise with the new investors? Have the situation been finalized? You know what I mean? We don't know. We don't know as a country, and I think that we should know in some general terms. 2 weeks have passed. I hear people say the way how cabinet operates is that they have a discussion 1 week, and then the following week they finalize what they finalize. There was a post-cabinet press briefing. I don't recall hearing nothing in terms of, hey, well, we would have had discussion with the investors. We have an agreement, or we're still doing some research and blah, blah, blah. We just haven't heard nothing. And we ought not to accept that as a people. We ought not to accept that as a people. And again, when I read Mr. Weston's piece, it is telling to me. It is telling to me, because let's hope that we don't find ourselves, our country that is, those who need the care, don't find ourselves in a position where we can't afford it. Because as he says, or as he asks the question, depending on how the government deals with that from a social standpoint, whether or not that could become a death sentence for persons who can't afford it in Antigua and Barbuda. And I think that that's a very pertinent question. Let me just congratulate Mr. Weston again on those two pieces, and I hope that you will, Mr. Weston, continue to pen these opinion pieces on matters of national importance. I hope that you do. Eventually, you're going to hear that you have something against the government, because once anybody with an independent mind asks independent and pertinent questions, they automatically have something against the government, or they automatically want to see the government or the power, or whatever the case is. Those persons with those thoughts ought not to dominate the media space, in my opinion. So let me just congratulate Mr. Weston again, and I hope and trust that you will continue in a unbiased and a fair way. Share information with the public. Share information with the public to the benefit, not of a government, but to the public. And then the public will then seek to, or be in a position with the knowledge to make better decisions for themselves straight across the board. That's how I'm going to say that. Yeah. Again, the number is 462-1100. If you want to give me a call, you could do that. Let me just check. I haven't checked on the WhatsApp board in a while. Okay, no, I'm looking. Okay, somebody was telling me to play the recording again. Person tell me, okay, we can give that recording to that person. It don't make a difference to me. Who's always up by your cousin? Maybe you could tell me that. I don't know who's that you're referring to. WhatsApper. If you can sort me out with that one there. I don't know it came. What's this? No, what's this? Look, just looking at the well, I don't know what that is all about. I can't keep yapping. Beef, what's going on with the Senate? They don't usually give us new senators by now. So what? Gaston because he didn't. Okay. That situation with the, somebody remind me to go back to that. The situation with the Senate. Somebody remind me to go back to that. If you don't mind, I'll go back. I'll touch back on that. Talking about the cancer center. Another, boy, the Ministry of Health. The Ministry of Health seems to be the Ministry of Action, if you want to call it. When I say action, should I not the Ministry of Action? The Ministry of a lot of things, lot of issues. Let me put it that way. Lot of issues. Ministry of a lot of issues. Last week, well, not last week. Today, Saturday. This week, I saw something being circulated. Somebody sent me, I'm not sure if it's a cabinet decision in relation to burials, which said that burials will now be at the Lambert Cemetery. I think that is in the Lambert Cemetery is in the Blizzard area, New Winchops area, and the one out at Wilkie's, I don't remember the name of that one. Hope I don't have the name, mix up. But the one out at Blizzard, New Winchops, and the one up at Wilkie's. And there have been some kickback from at least over at New Winchops. The whole issue as to whether or not these cemeteries are public cemeteries, whether or not, in the case of New Winchops, they're saying that a family had gifted the lands to the community, and those lands are held in trust by a community group. Not sure how true that is, but that should be easy to find out. It's just a matter of checking to see whose name the land's in. So there's that issue there. What is of concern to me is that for quite some time now we have been hearing that over at St. John's Cemetery, the public cemetery in St. John's Cemetery, we have been hearing that space is an issue there for quite a while now. As a matter of fact, I can remember in the news, if I go back and check, I didn't plan to do it, but if I go back and check, I remember that there was a time in the news they were saying that they were going to utilize the different community cemeteries. And it was around that time that some focus was put on Valley Church in terms of a burial. I remembered one particular Labour Party supporter, I'm not calling him, was on the radio indicating that, there's an issue that people come from Tonga, come Valley Church, come bury, and etc., etc., etc. I saw a video put out by George Wenner indicating that what they're doing now, what they're using now for burial is what was the road over there. And I've since heard that, well, the video was put out by Wenner, and I heard that from some government agent saying the same thing. So I don't think, from what I heard, nothing is happening out there in terms of burial out at Valley Church. No, from what I would have heard. I can't understand that as a policy maker, as a person in charge of, how do we get to a situation here now where we're in a crisis like this when we would have known for years, at least 2-3 years, if not longer, that we're having an issue, that these places are being filled up. I see since that I see 1 or 2 articles on the Antigua newsroom platform where they would have indicated that what's that? Who's that now? Okay, I have to call back the person. I've seen 1 or 2 articles in the Antigua newsroom platform where they're saying that work is, I'm not even sure if I can say work is almost done up at the cemetery up there on, what's the name of the road now? Just opposite the police ground, what we call police ground. I do see some equipment in there, like they're working on the roads and that kind of stuff. But I haven't heard as to how soon, or I don't know if a date has been given in relation to when will burial start up at that site like that. I don't know. But I'm just flabbergasted, to be honest, in my mind, that you're in control of a situation. You know that this is where the situation is. You're being given updates, I would believe, as a situation, and you would have allowed the situation to come to the state that it is. And again, the public is not being told nothing, basically. The public is not being told nothing, basically. If it wasn't for persons sharing certain things, we would not know. And I don't have a problem with persons sharing certain things, because when the UPP was in government and things was being shared around, we all wanted to read, etc., etc., etc. We all wanted to hear. So I don't see what changed now. I really don't see what changed now. Information that comes to the public, that is a public use, I have no problem at all with it. So I don't know what it is now. I think I was talking to somebody today on my way here, and apparently they might have had a meeting with the community group up at New Wintrops. From what I heard, I don't know how true that is, but that's what somebody told me. I didn't get a chance to listen to the news this afternoon, so I don't know if there's a report on it. I haven't seen nothing in the newspaper on it. So I don't know. Whether you always, oh my God, no. Okay, all right, thanks much. Oh yes, because the last name, I wouldn't call the last name on the radio, but the last name, yes, you're correct, WhatsApper. You're correct with that. We'll talk about that. Yes, okay, but based on the last name, I think you're correct. with that. Yes, so as I was saying, I just don't understand. And for me, I don't care what anybody say. That cannot be the standard, and that ought not to be accepted in 2024. If we are to accept that is how government runs and that is how things happen, well, we're so way behind the civilized world. It's not even funny. In my opinion, we're so way behind the civilized world, it will not even be funny. But I'll keep prodding. On this burial space issue to see what's happening. I don't want to come and speak what I don't know. As I said, I was asking some questions this afternoon. I heard the person told me that they had a meeting. I don't know if it's the Ministry of Health or its agents had a meeting with the community group in the Blizzard area, and I don't know what came out of that. If anybody has the information, they can WhatsApp it to me, 464-4201, or feel free to give us a call and bring us up to date with that. So that is that part there. I heard, well, it was prior to Christmas, yes. It was prior to Christmas when the public was advised that there would have been a 2% increase on the ABST. And since then, in my words, all hell have broken loose on Antigua in terms of prices. I hear some people saying that there's a formula to this and that, and workers don't know. Merchants don't know this and merchants don't know that. I don't share that opinion. at all. I just believe that persons are using the opportunity to do what they want to do. I just believe that. As I was saying to I think it's when I came here now. When I the last program that I had, I was saying that strange enough, what has come out of that, and that is what I was speaking to, was the different prices. I had reasons to make some comparison, and I saw it, and persons were saying certain other things, and I was saying to people, whatever those items that are not under price control, the merchant decide what they're selling for. I was saying that to somebody was telling me no, that's not the case, and that kind of stuff, and I knew to myself that that was indeed the case. I was listening to Senator Samantha Marshall program, I think she's on Monday, so it would have been last Monday, and she had a guest on her program. Gentleman, the last name is Steele. I don't know what the first name is, and he basically corroborated what I was thinking. You know what I mean, in terms of these merchants having the right to do it, and if you don't want to pay, shop around and get the best price. That's what he was saying. I must play that a little later tonight. But going back to the whole 2% situation, initially we were told that it was to facilitate the increase in pay that was given to the public servants. And let me just take the opportunity again to put it on the record that contract would have been a contract that would have ended in 2020. So that that 13% is 30% they gave, boy? 13 or 14%. That would have covered the period 2020, 2020, 21, 22, 23. Or, 23, no. 18, 19, 20. 18, 19, 20. 21, 22, 23 will have just elapsed. I don't think that there's no agreement covering that period, and we're now in 24. So they're actually behind by one cycle, if my understanding is correct, and I think it is. Behind by one cycle. So it was initially we were told that it was the increase in the 2% was to facilitate the increase in pay, and then the members of the finance department, the financial secretary, I believe the position is Miss Rosona Davis, I think is his name, Crump Davis or something like that. She was there in the program, and the gentleman who's in charge of who runs Inland Revenue, I think the first name is Jeremy, and I don't remember the last name. He was there also, and then they gave us some information. And for me, personally, I'm going with what the technicians say. So if there's a difference between what the politicians say and what the technicians say, I'm going with what the technicians say. I'm not going with what the politicians say. And the technicians and them advise the country that the 2% was a means to raise additional revenues to deal with a wide gamut of bills and financial issues that the government have to deal with. Now, the government, leading up to the discussion, was saying that they're going to have to cut back on discretionary duty, because that was the main culprit why we are where we are. And those are my words. They didn't say culprit, but those are my words. My understanding from what they were saying was that based on the amount of duty free that was given out, that is why we are where we are. That's my understanding. So I'm listening to the Prime Minister last week, and I heard this, and I said, okay, interesting.
Well, benevolence was abused to some extent, and you had individuals who I'm told are literally operating, let's say, a black market, a duty-free black market. We call it my black market. I mean, you condemn my own people. A duty-free market, because everything is black according to some people. So I take that back. They're operating a clandestine, informal duty-free market, and that's one of the reasons why we need to stop it.
That's one of the reasons why we need to stop it. What is the stop it? The discretionary duty. Let's play that again.
Well, benevolence was abused to some extent, and you had individuals who I'm told are literally operating, let's say, a black market, a duty-free black market. We call it my black market. I mean, you condemn my own people. A duty-free market, because everything is black according to some people. So I take that back. They're operating a clandestine, informal duty-free market, and that's one of the reasons why we need to stop it.
What does that? What does that mean? What you just heard just now? What does that mean? What is a clandestine market for? If the government is giving duty-free concessions to assist persons, to use the words of the Prime Minister, is a form of transferring wealth. I've heard him use that term before. What is that? What does that mean in layman language? What is a clandestine?
Well, benevolence was abused to some extent, and you had individuals who I'm told are literally operating, let's say, a black market, a duty-free black market.
All right. So the Prime Minister says that he was told that they were persons. Let me back it up.
And you had individuals who I'm told are literally operating, let's say, a black market, a duty-free black market.
All right. So, if the Prime Minister of the country comes into that information, what do you think should happen? What do you think should happen? I'm not going to answer the question. I'm just going to ask it and leave it right there. I'm not gonna answer the question at all. But if that information, if the Prime Minister, because remember, the issuing of these duty frees is a cabinet function. I think I heard somebody say the Controller of Customs can do it too. I don't know how true that is. But if somebody wants a duty free, I think the application is made to finance and blah 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 blah. Eventually, it's the cabinet that makes the decision. So based on what the Prime Minister says, that information would have come to him. What happens? What happens? What happens?
And you had individuals who I'm told relatively operating, let's say a black market, a duty-free black market. We call it my black market. I mean, we condemn my own people. A duty-free market, because everything is black according to some people. So I take that back. They're operating a clandestine, informal duty-free market, and that's one of the reasons why we need to stop it.
Did the Prime Minister seek to clarify if what he was told, if there was any truth in what he was told? And let's go both ways. If there was truth in what he was told, what happened? And if there was not truth in what he was saying, then what happened? You know? Again, as I said, I'm not going to answer that. I'm just going to leave it there. I just wanted to bring that to the attention of my listeners. Let me see if anybody here might have said anything. You're the one that laugh. Okay, no, I don't see nothing on the WhatsApp board. If anybody can tell me if they heard anything, but I just heard that and I find it quite interesting. I do find it quite interesting. This is what the gentleman Steele had to say. I just made mention of it just now. On Senator Samantha's program last Monday.
I have an inquiry via WhatsApp. They want to know if price control can direct a merchant what to sell an item for. What price, I believe they want to know. What price to sell an item for if it's not in the basket of goods.
Well, if it's not under price control order, there's no regulations for that. And especially when it comes to luxury items, most of them are not on the regulations. So I can give you a good example, something like maybe shoe polish, right? If a merchant decides they want to sell the shoe polish for $25, they really can, because it's not regulated. If it's just up to you as a consumer to shop around and ensure that you get it at the best price at whatever location, because the items that are not controlled as the best you can do, and the market will determine that. Because if you are selling a shoe polish for $25 and all the other establishments are selling it for $10 or $12, I don't see why you would go to that particular location buy for $25 when everybody else has it for a cheaper price, and then they in turn now will have to take down the price because it's not going to be sold, right? It won't turn over quickly, and that's just not going to be good for business altogether. So that's just a benefit to the consumers as well to shop around, and items that are not part of the price control order, there's nothing that we can do at the department as it relates to business, putting on certain percentages and prices on them as well.
I'm curious to know, okay, because you're saying then you won't be competitive if you make your prices too high, but what happens when there's a monopoly? What happens when you're the only provider of a certain good or service?
Then you bingo.
Well, I'll just repeat again, if it's not part of the order, we can't regulate it.
I answered her, Mr. Steele. I answered her. The person bingo. If nobody else has it and I have it at the high price.
And you have it some ridiculous price.
Yeah.
That's your business.
Bingo.
So
but most of the items that are on the order, the consumer, prices on consumer affairs order, those are items that are basic grocery items.
Sure.
Can you give us an idea?
Yeah, well, basic grocery items. So most of them are the items in the basket of goods too.
Yeah, but our list is bigger than the basket of goods, because the basket of goods is only applicable to items that are zero rated.
Right.
But the items that are on the price control order, that are taxable as well.
Okay.
Yes, so is that everything on the price control order, or should I say the goods that are price controlled, some of them are taxable as well.
Okay.
So what I can tell you a couple, so things like biscuits are price control, butter, cheese, things like cocoa and coffee, the things that you make to make tea, like tea bags and stuff, fish, chicken, meat, whether it's the frozen ones or it's in their can as well, preserved. There's also fruits and vegetables, fruit juices, milk, whether it's powdered, condensed, or evaporated milk, salt, sugar, insecticides, disinfectants, that's toothpaste. I think that's roughly what it is.
Okay, so...
And that's price controlled?
That's price controlled.
Correct.
Okay.
All right, so I just wanted to share For persons out there, again, I was a part of a heated conversation of that. That the gentleman still, I suspect that he worked for the Consumer Affairs Department. And you would have heard what he would have said in relation to where the authorities stand legally. Once issues or once items are not on the price control list. It's a matter of you shopping and getting the best deal that you can. So them persons who are selling, the example you use, should I? When he says should I smile, don't say, I wonder if you say something about anybody else. Anyway, when he says should I, when the person who's selling should I, you try to shop around and purchase from those who have the best price in relation to the should I. One more issue before I go to my first break. Time in studio now is 9:34 p.m. I gotta go to a first break just now. But again, for the last week or two, there has been some issues and protests in relation to gun bars. The government have made the decision to repurpose, I'm not sure if it's all of the lands or some of the lands over there. Initially I was at a particular area when a person who works in the Ministry of Agriculture passed through, and in the conversation they were saying that they didn't know what happened up there. I had just passed the area, so I asked the person who was clearing the land and so on, and I was told their equipment belonging to a politician, and I'll call the name at this point in time. Based on the politician that I heard, it would have appeared to me to be a conflict of interest, but I don't know if the work went out to tender and they had the best price, so I don't want to speak much of that, but those were my initial thoughts. And then we would have had some picketing over there, which have led to some persons being sued. We'll see how that works out down the line. And you have had the ongoing discussion where some persons are of the opinion that the area over there was for production, and other persons say no, it's not for production, it was for experimentation and testing based on the fact that they said some different soil types. I think it's 5 different soil types here over the area. I personally am not yet clear. I haven't had the information yet to know. I don't even know if it's all of the lands or some of the lands, so I can't even say. From what I would have heard in some news items, and so it seems as if they want to relocate the what we will call it now, the lab section to either Orange Valley or Diamonds, or maybe both. I don't know. Right? What bothers me personally, or it doesn't bother me because I'm not really bothered. What concerns me and strikes my curiosity in this whole thing is that I can see that a government, a cabinet is going to take a decision, has taken a decision, and the thought process have not been carried out to the end as to what's happening. What do I mean by that? All right, the government have taken the decision to repurpose the lands for housing. Some of the lands or all of the lands for housing, I don't know. All right, so that's the decision of the cabinet. The cabinet have decided to do that. Fine. After that, well, I told you what I heard somebody from agriculture say, and the person is a fairly senior person there, from what I know. They weren't talking to me, but I heard the conversation. Then you hear that. Let me reverse a little bit. When after I heard about that a politician was doing the clearing, or company for a politician was doing the clearing, I spoke to certain individuals. And those individuals were in touch with certain cabinet members, or a certain cabinet member. And I am told that cabinet member was saying that nothing was done as it relates to if the lands were going to be exchanged, where would they be exchanged to, etc., etc., etc. I was told that. I can't understand, again, in 2024, when we're supposed to be developing reasonably, along the road, how does the government take the decision? And I don't have the problem if that's the decision that they want to take. I can't tell them not to. They would know what they're doing, or what they should know what they're doing. But how do you know here, after you have taken the decision that, for instance, persons from the Met Office is saying that there's something over there that would need to have to be relocated, that can't be relocated, and blah, blah, blah. Shouldn't all of these things be done? All of these consideration, all of these conversations be done prior to? Then, from listening to the conversation, listening to the Prime Minister, again, I'm living as a community, listening to the Prime Minister on his program, it would appear as if a particular person from a particular family would have paid down on some lands. And if my understanding is correct from what is being said, is that whatever money was paid down would be charged to the value of whatever the lots that can buy, and then that's it. They can't get more. I heard one name was mentioned to me, and just as we were having a discussion, either yesterday or today, another name was mentioned. There's some similarity between both names, let me put it that way. Right? So I say that to say, if you're taking monies for these lots, etc., etc., it means that you're advancing what you're doing. But how do you get to that? And you haven't even, up to then, know where the lab is going, or as the way the person was saying, what is going to happen. That just doesn't sound sensible in a modern day society. I don't know that that's how it works. And that is the issue and concern that I have. Right? That is the issue and concerns that I have. That it doesn't appear to me as if the policy was thought out right through. And I don't know how that is acceptable in today's day and age.
Ongoing meetings are in the works to address the concerns of agriculture staff displaced by the government's housing project in Dunbars. In a meeting this morning, officials from the Ministry of Agriculture and the Dunbars Agriculture Station staff gathered to discuss the repercussions of the government's decision to repurpose land for housing development. Maud Veer Bradford, Senior Research Officer, says, as of now, a location has not been decided.
I was not present at the meeting, but my assistant was there. And I think both the non-established and established staff were there with the unions. And from what they have indicated to me is that there are plans to meet again to decide where the workers will go. And there's some contingency plan in place to deal with the crops and other assets on the ground. I was not in the meeting, but I plan to do a walkthrough tomorrow with my staff and the assistant.
Officials from the Ministry of Agriculture and the Dunbars Agriculture Station staff met to address land clearing issues and to listen to the workers' concerns. The workers are worried they will lose their jobs due to the Cabinet's decision to repurpose some of the land. The Agriculture Minister, E.P. Chet Green, has assured the workers that land clearing developments will not negatively affect their employment prospects. But beyond their jobs, numerous key root crops like sweet potatoes and cassava have been dug up in the clearing process.
One of the fields that they're about to destroy, now we're doing the assessment to realize that field has one month more. Can they allow that? Yes, I think they would allow that. The experiment we put in now with Cardi to get that valuable data from the agroecological zone would take 6 months. Would they allow that? If we dialogue, we discuss, I guess they would. So as I said, there is no proper communication, and even if they communicate, you communicate with the PS, you communicate with the director, but you didn't communicate with the heads of division, and even, the staff that are involved in the work on these stations.
In addition, 3 weather stations will have to be removed from the area with no plan as to where they will go. One station belongs to the Agriculture Station in Cardi, while the other 2 are the property of the Met Office. One of the stations, according to Dale Destin, Director of the Meteorological Services, was placed there specifically to conduct an experiment by the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology, CIMH, and the Agriculture Ministry using international donor funds. The results were to benefit other Caribbean countries in the region's quest for climate resilience and food security. Destin says the agency doesn't have the resources to relocate the stations, nor can stations be taken up overnight. He says they learned of the clearing on Saturday and have not been contacted by the Housing Ministry with more information. Vera Bradford also maintains that herself and her staff were not made aware of the Cabinet's decision to repurpose the land.
As noted, the minister said the workers were notified, and I categorically disassociate myself from that statement because the staff and myself were not made aware. I also noted that there were mention of a cabinet decision. Senior Research Officer Bradford do not receive cabinet decision. I'm not privy to any cabinet decision. What I'm privy to is cabinet decisions being forwarded to the permanent secretary for the implementation of whatever policies. And as of to date, and at the time of me speaking with you, 2/34, I have not received any official notification or instructions from my superiors about any cabinet decision implementation.
The senior officer said the fault is of her superiors who failed to communicate that decision. She said while they cannot change a government policy, they wish they were informed to be able to better prepare for the removal of crops and to conclude any experiments currently ongoing. The Dunbar site was specifically selected because it produces soil types to support the study of any crop. The station supports the jobs of farmers by researching ways to combat diseases. It grows seeds for local and regional regeneration and provides vital experimental data to support food security on the island.
So you, my people, you will decide to yourself whether or not that is acceptable. I mean, whether or not the way how things are done, how people go about doing things, whether or not that is acceptable in 2024, and more importantly, whether or not we will accept that in 2024 and moving forward. When I hear these things and so, just as I'm listening to it, my run back on the situation with the APA. Remember that a gentleman was sent home, they say, because basically, the players was going to hell with a handbasket on his management, so he had to go. I wonder if there's anybody else who have to go. Somebody said Muscle Man home throwing tantrum cause I'm not calling him the walk with ego China. That is something, plenty of people talk to me ask plenty questions. But let me just put, how can I put that? Let me put it this way. It is being said that based on certain things that was said from one person to a female, the female have decided, even if I have to campaign against him, that I will do, because what was said to the female cannot be tolerated in modern day. I can find out the rest herself. After that, find out what was said to the female, and let me not say no more than that. Just find out what was said to the female, and then that will give you an idea as to why certain things are happening the way it's happening. 9:47 p.m. Going to take a quick break, and then we will return with real talk.
Supreme, this boy no dream.
This is Tyranny. Hey, by the mighty monarch. Hey, normally And when I'm finished working, I'm going home. We'll tune in to see me here Blinds. Yeah, no Blinds all play Calypso. Yeah, my good buddy Blind Dane Blinds Richards. Somebody listen and tell me Blind work. And if he not work, I try to find out why is he not working. That's all I'm going to say upon that. Hi.
The cultures we have lost, they're trying to regain our dignity and pride, but they won't let us try. All the people, them will the power. Them who they leave my people the power. In Uganda, South Africa, Chile and Rhodesia, even in the Caribbean. Rise, people, raise up. Rise with vengeance, strike them from the land. Wherever you find tyranny, stamp it out, send them to prison. It's spilled our blood, it's in God. Oh, what dreadful times we live in. Heartless regime, enjoy your screams, but the end is surely hastening. Let them carry on, soon their time will come. Some will talk of love and swear by God above, but it's only an iron hand in a velvet glove. All the people, them who the power, them who believe my people the power. In Uganda, South Africa, Chile and Rhodesia, in the Caribbean. Rise, people, raise up. Rise with vengeance, like them from the land. Wherever you find tyranny, stamp it out, send them in this. Rise, people, rise. Take off your blinds. Though you're in no condition to fight, fight you must, or suffer once. This cruel world will never see the light. This world is in such a state, too horrible to relate. Tyranny can go wrong, restraining tongue and pen, destroying better men, but we won't let them. All the people, them who in the power, them who they leave my people the power. Tell them people like say, they blood will flow one day, just like ours going now. Rise, people, raise up. Rise with vengeance, like a from the land. Wherever you find tyranny, stamp it out, send them in this.
Elaine and Dad's Joseph Consultancy. We consult on labor relation matters, insurance, business matters, and politics. P.O. Box 2287, Francis Lane, Yorks Village, St. John's, Antigua Barbuda. Our email address, it's elaineanddadsjoseph@gmail.com. Telephone numbers 776-0200 or 464-4201. Contact us. We are here for you.
From a little cottage in number 3 Casada Gardens hails Rags to Rugs. 100% handmade Antiguan interwoven rag rugs by J. Lisa Lewis. We have various sizes of floor rugs, decorative wall hanging rugs, and table mats, uniquely and sustainably handmade. To purchase, send us a message via WhatsApp at 268-770-8088 for directions to our physical location, or we can deliver to you anywhere on Antigua absolutely free. Like and follow us on Facebook at Rags to Rugs Antiguan Made, on Instagram Rags to Rugs, or you can email us at ragstorugs@gmail.com. Don't forget, our rag rugs and table mats are machine washable and dryable. See you soon.
at last. Out of chaos and strife, we found a hope we've never known. A glimpse, just a glimmer, just a gleam. But a flicker of light, like I have never seen. The voices of my people tells me that they're reaching maturity. Their spirit shows that determination for a new society. Though plagued by injustice, misfortune and strain, and constant oppression, I enforce our change. Though we fail to get along, there's one thing we have in common. The oppression we bear will forge us as one. Yet in spite of all our hardship and misery, and poor economic condition, we must struggle on. The state of affairs at the moment indicate that a stand will have to be taken soon by we the people ourselves, for our future's sake. Can't allow all our time, efforts and talents to waste. If we open up our eyes, we could soar the skies and make this island a paradise. We can unite, speaking with divided voices. Rise, 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 rise. People, open up your eyes. Produce, that's the answer, produce. Develop our own, use our own, and own our own. Despite our political views, we must all understand that we are part of this island. And the same stick lick in the wild goat, the same stick lick in the tame. Everybody drifting in the same boat, we all sinking just the same. Some of them are claiming that they have this country at heart, but their actions are showing they're splitting the people apart. And they pulling and tugging, we so colorblind we can't see. There's no wonder we are used and abused constantly. Yet in spite of all our hardship and misery and poor economic condition, we must struggle on.
Oh yes. Welcome back to Real Talk. Hey, right here on ZDK Liberty Radio 97.1. Time in studio 9:55 p.m. Dave Beef Josephine and company. Sounds of the man, the mighty one up. This one he calls In Spite of All. Somebody WhatsApp me, tell me blinds to work, please.
Rise, 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 rise. People, open up your eyes. Perhaps, just perhaps, I thought the pressure we feel that is revealed the world around would serve us as a lesson that ought to make us aware the need to create lifestyle more sound. The principles of capitalism has left us an empty shell. The decadence of society is the results as well. Promote cooperation, knowledge and skill, and industrial programs that would be producing a strong and hard-working man will be glad to own a piece of this land and be rid of this cancer foreign domination. Yet in spite of all our hardship and misery and poor economic condition, we must struggle on. The state of affairs at the moment indicate that a stand will have to be taken soon by we the people ourselves, for our future's sake. Can't allow all our time, efforts and talents to waste. If we open up our eyes, we could soar the skies and make this island a paradise. We can unite, speaking with divided voices. Rise, 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 rise. People, open up your eyes.
Oh yes, the sounds of the mighty monarch there. I'm just trying to check something here to see if okay, so that's not there. So where is it now? It's going to be here. Let me see if it's here. What do I have up there now? That and that. Okay, so then I could load that onto that one there, and then we will get ready to go just now. You know what? What time is it? Okay, I'm not seeing nobody tell me nothing yet about that. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I could do something there. Just give me a minute there. Let me see if we can get this something for work. Come on, for see. I get some news today about my boss. Blinds. So you know how the something go. I don't want to say nothing before I know what is what. Let me try to see what's going on with blinds. Hold on there. And then it really sound like a music that blinds play. I can tell if the computer play.
Broadcasting from the Point community, you're listening to Point FM 99.1.
Okay, yes, okay. That is the computer play. That is the computer play there. So blinds not work. Okay. And if I get off of here, if I call blinds, if blinds go to sleep or what? But I heard some things just now. Well, not just now, this afternoon, this evening when I was coming to work about blinds. And if it's true, blinds. my friend blinds. My friend blinds. Even when I get it tonight. But not hearing nothing live. Don't hear blinds voice. Yeah, blind is not working. That's the computer playing there. I can tell you that. That's the advantage when you're in the house and that's the computer playing there. When I'm gonna get blinds tonight, I'm gonna get a call tomorrow to confirm over here. And then once I would have confirmed it, then I'll go on the road. Now I was listening again, the song go, tracking everything, following everything that's going on. And coming out of, was it the last press conference? What date is on this? No, this is on the 11th. This was from the 11th. The 11th would have been, not the last one, the one before, press conference before. Nikki had put a question to the minister. Nikki had put a question to the minister in relation to apparently in the manifesto for the Labour Party, the last manifesto for the Labour Party, they said in the manifesto that they were not going to increase the ABST total. And just about a year after, they increased it by 2%. So Nikki had asked that question. As a matter of fact, I saw something being circulated in relation to that. But Nikki asked the question on the 11th, and the minister answered. I'm going to play that so that you could hear the question and you could hear the answer for the minister. But before I play that, having heard what was said, it caused me to go back. And look at something. Right? It caused me to go back and look at something. Budget, from the budget speech of 2009. Page up. The budget speech of 2009. Budget statement 2009. Dr. the Honorable L. Errol Court, Minister of Finance and the Economy, Monday, the 1st of December, 2008. Right? So when I heard the answer, my mind, I said, let me go and check that budget statement, and I did. So I have it in front of me, and I'm gonna, for those of you who might have it, who might want to go and get it, make notes, or if you want to, starting at page 25. I'm going to start at page 25 because, as you know, leading up to the election, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, I don't believe that the UPP explicitly at the time of campaigning, going into election, indicated that they were not going to introduce real income tax. I don't think they explicitly said that. Persons were led to believe that by certain other statements or so that were made. If I'm not mistaken, I think they might have been saying all things are on the table or whatever the case is, but they weren't explicit with it. So let's go to page 25 of budget from 2009, which was presented the 1st of December 2008. 25. Madam Speaker, the personal income tax was reintroduced in April 2005 after being abolished 28 years earlier in 1977. This measure was introduced to help stabilize the fiscal situation in Antigua and Barbuda and to render the tax system more equitable and efficient. We're going to read over that sentence there. This measure was introduced to help stabilize the fiscal situation in Antigua and Barbuda and to render the tax system more equitable and efficient. And then it continues, since its reintroduction, the personal income tax has generated additional revenue, 25 blah, 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 down the line. And it goes on to tell you that for 2008, the revenue from the PAT is projected to remain blah, 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 blah. And in 2005, the structure of the PAT was as follows, and they would have amended it. The new structure is now that. So, for persons who can find it, it should be online. I'm at page 25 for that, right? But what I wanted to highlight was that it was said this measure was introduced to help stabilize the fiscal situation in Antigua and Barbuda and to render the tax system more equitable and efficient. No, let us assume, or let us go from the standpoint that the UPP had said to the electorate at the time that they were not going to increase or reintroduce personal income tax. Let's assume that they said that. As I said, my recollection is that they did not say it explicitly. They had used words that persons might believe that they were not going to. That's my recollection, and persons can correct me if I'm wrong. I have no problem with being corrected. So if I'm wrong, please correct me. But let us assume that they had said they're not going to reintroduce income tax, and they did reintroduce income tax. Their rationale was this measure was introduced to help stabilize the fiscal situation in Antigua and Barbuda and to render the tax system more equitable and efficient. That was their reason. And we know the beating that the UPP took in relation to the personal income tax. In reading the budget statement, I came across something else that I believe might be of import to the analysts, because I hear the analysts from time to time having certain discussions, even sometimes with his brother, in relation to the ABST. And this is now going to be on page 26. Analysts, if you're listening, this might be of import to you. Madam Speaker, as indicated earlier, the UPP administration implemented the Antigua and Barbuda sales tax in 2007. You may recall that this tax replaced 6 taxes, including the consumption tax. An assessment of the revenue generated by the ABST versus the taxes it replaced reveals that this measure has positively impacted overall revenue performance. And they have a table there. It says between 1999 and 2003, the six taxes replaced by ABST, they generated an average 114.7 million. And for the period 2004-2006, the average revenue from these 6 taxes were 37% greater at 157.2 million. And then it goes on from there. Now, moving on now to page 27. Further, for 2008, revenue of the is projected to increase by 24%. Increased by 24% to 243.3 million. As mentioned before, this growth is primarily due to significant economic growth and the greater efficiency in tax collection. Since this was in 2008, I'm assuming that the significant economic growth we're talking about was from when World Cup was around in 2007. I'm assuming that. Madam Speaker, it is quite evident that the tax policies and programs made by this UPP administration has yielded great success. What is most impressive is that the improvement of revenue performance was not as a result of additional tax measures and higher tax rate. Instead, this increase in revenue was due to extraordinary levels of economic growth and greater efficiency in tax collection. Again, just making the point there. But why that jumped at me when I saw it, I can remember analysts trying to explain that the ABST was replaced 6 other taxes. And what happened to widen the scope of it is that services, or some services, was then included in that. Fast forward now to current day, where this government have indicated that, or have said to the public, there's going to be minimal impact, and those are my words, minimal impact because of the basket of goods, etc., etc. But I believe, as one of the technicians will have said when they're here, is that the 2% increase is also attached to services. So, whereas the government was not speaking about the increase in the service, they only spoke to the basket of goods, we have to keep that also in mind. So, I just wanted to put that there on the table. So, remember now, if we're going to go from the standpoint that the UPP said that they were not going to reintroduce income tax, and they did, the rationale given for the UPP, by the UPP, as captured in the budget of 2009, was that this measure was introduced to help stabilize the fiscal situation in Antigua and Barbuda and to render the tax system more equitable and efficient. All right. Let's fast forward now to the question that was put to Minister Melford Nicholas by Nikki. And as I said, I saw the circulation that was going around. I don't remember the page number as I'm talking to you, but it indicated that the government was not going to increase the ABST. I wonder if I could find it, boy. Let me see if I could find it. What do I will not increase ABST. Let me see if I could pick that. Let me see if I could pick that up. Let me see if I could pick up that from. So let me see if I could see if there's the manifesto. I want to read it. Okay, yes, this is it. Okay, I'm seeing it here on the site here. Gaston Brown. Okay, let me not get to the party. Antigua and Barbuda Labour Party, January 6, 2003. Our pledge to the people of Antigua and Barbuda. I'm trying to see if there's a page number on this. No, I don't see a page number. But the page says no personal income tax, no increase in ABST, to continue no ABST on essential food and no ABST on items of hygiene and for infants, to remove duty-free on security systems and alternative green energy products for homes and business, where possible to reduce ABST on more products, and in any event to continue programs to reduce or remove ABST on goods at seasonal times, to bring down the cost of electricity and water through the use of renewable and green sources of energy, such as solar power, and to incentivize further the agriculture and fisheries sectors to provide locally grown and more affordable food. Right? Again, I don't see the page number here, so I could refer you for quick access to a page number, but it does say that no increase in the ABST. So, after this began to circulate, Nikki put the question to Melford, how is it that you all say that you all are not going to increase ABST, and here it is, you all have increased it. So let's listen to the question and to the answer.
Can we talk about a 2% tax? The 2% tax effective the 1st of January 2024. Now, I saw that there was a flyer that was going around, and to ensure that it's authentic, I went to the Antigua Barbuda Labour Party page, and on the 6th of January 2023, your government, all of cabinet, the ministers, basically put out in guiding our nation to the next level of progress and prosperity, the ABLP pledged on January 6, 2023, to have no increase, a list of pledges, but the second one is no increase in ABST. There's one where it says to reduce ABST and more products, and in any event to continue programs to reduce, basically pledging to ensure that cost of living is lowered as much as possible. Also to insensitize the agriculture and fisheries. We're now having this ongoing protest with regards to the Dunbar's estate, and we have 2% tax increase. We're having many of our citizens complaining, as you highlighted before. So how honest and how sincere is the government of Antigua and Barbuda, the Gaston Brown government, to declare just before elections, because we're coming up on a year for elections, there will be no ABST tax increase. Vote for us, put us in, we're helped to make your life quite easier. But in 2024, the very first day in the year, we hit a 2% tax, and everyone is basically struggling.
I think you do this consistently well. You conflate political matters with governance matters. And you just mentioned that you picked something up from the ABLP's campaign, and then you asked me to comment in the position where I'm reporting in cabinet in terms of a response. But let me try and see if I can thread the needle effectively for you, Nikki. The matter at hand here is whether or not, with the obligations that the government have to continually meet, whether or not the existing tax regime that we have, the basis of collections and the quantum of monies that we have at our disposal at any given point in time is sufficient to meet the expectations of the public. I traversed my community just last evening, and certainly I saw something that I was aghast, and it made me, cringe. That citizens have an expectation that the government must be able to do everything on their behalf at tremendous costs and increased growing costs. And then they, in turn, do not expect to ante up any financial support to the government. And I think the government has made it clear, not in one, not in two, in every successive budget presentation that has had, the Minister of Finance have said it. And I invite you, Nikki, if you're going to be a part of an influencer in the public square, you have to increase your breadth of information. It cannot just be left up to the issue of being a provocateur for political ends. You have to be able to look at it from the standpoint of what has the government said in relation to the tax code. And to my mind, since the dawn of this administration in 2014, every budget statement have said this. There are systemic challenges with respect to revenue collection and the amount of availability of tax based on the percentage of taxes when compared to the GDP. There is a median reference point that we should be collecting a minimum of 25% of taxes in relation to the GDP. I'll go back a little further, and perhaps maybe 15, 20 years ago, whereas corporate income taxes were set at the rate of 40%. The tax code has changed to reduce that number down to 25%. And so 25% is the aim and the objective of the government. And so far, even when the former administration was in office, we had not gotten close to a 25% collection based on GDP. What has happened since this administration has been in office, and even during the time of COVID, when we had a reduction, a significant reduction in government revenues, upwards of 40%, during the 2 years of COVID, when we had to shut down almost everything, the government was still able to do a number of things. And one of those tremendous things that the government was able to do was to keep the public sector fully engaged, fully employed, and fully paid. The upshot of all of that is that we had a number of creditors who had to give us extension on our credit. We're now at a period of time that we have gone beyond COVID. We have resumed the growth in the economy. It has been enunciated on several occasions and in several fora, including the recently concluded budget debates in Parliament last month, as to where we are now with the robust return to growth that we're having. But we are still seeing, with increased growth, it's a mathematical equation. With an increase in the GDP, we are not seeing a commensurate increase in the tax collection. So we have had to change the tax code. One of the obligations that we undertook last year was to increase public sector wage increases. We have to give increases to the public sector wages. And if we have to meet those obligations, if we have to meet the expectation for modernization of the roadways, we have to pump a lot of subsidies into the production of water, etc. All of those things that we're doing comes at a cost. And it cannot be done on the same basis with the same revenue basket that we had. And so we had to increase it. Now, you may then say that there's a separation from what you perceive to have been a political offer back a year ago. That may have been so, but I believe the presentations that the Prime Minister and Minister of Finance would have done in Parliament twice last year, right after the last general elections when the new budget was presented, and last December when the budget for this year was presented, that adequate justification has been given as to why we had to change the tax code. And further from that, we have gone to the length to explain to the people at the base of the economy what measures we have put in place to protect them from the exogenous shocks that has come with the disturbances globally. One of which has had a tremendous impact on the cost of public utilities. But much of that cost has not been felt by the public because the government took the decision to absorb those increases. I can tell you, as the Minister of Public Utilities, that the Antigua Public Utilities have had to absorb as much as upwards of $20 million last year alone in fuel charges increases that were not passed on to the public by way of a change in the fuel variation rate. The same would be true for consumers of petrol at the petrol stations. The government would have taken a hit in those areas. So I would want, if you are going to be engaged in this matter of the integrity of the government in relation to the tax code, to appreciate what the government would have done across the board to be able to manage the affairs of government, to be able to meet its obligations for healthcare, for education, for public infrastructure, for all those things that we have to do to the public servants. And then to juxtapose that against the challenges that we would have within the finances of the government. And I think, on balance, because we've had an honest conversation with the public, I think people will see through the veil and to recognize that there was no intent on behalf of the government to mislead them or to cajole them, but this is the reality that we are now faced with, and we're going to go forward on that basis. And I'm happy to say to you too as well, one of the issues that has come up that is going to call on the government to be creative again would be the whole issue of the restructuring of LIAT, that we went to the extreme ends to ensure that we can give air travel in the region a new lease on life. And these are all challenges that have come up and that have stretched the government finances tremendously. And I think we have kept an honest conversation with the public. And I think you would want to revise your approach in terms of just picking one area and to try and to exacerbate it and to make it seem as if the government is pulling rabbits out of the hat or pulling wool across the eyes of the public. We have been very transparent in the discussion as to why these measures have to be taken.
Minister, I know that my colleagues need to give their response. You said quite a few things. I don't want to rebut what you're saying, but you said that I have a habit of mixing political and governmental. At the time of the elections, you were the government, a political party aiming to continue running the governance of Antigua and Barbuda, just to add that. I'm not a what do you call the word? Provocateur.
You don't consider yourself to be, but I do consider you to be a provocateur. Yes.
It's provocateur for political ends. It's not about that. It's about understanding if the government is really honest with what the government is saying. And your last statement about pulling wool over the people's eyes, this was a statement made by the government from the finance minister, the prime minister incumbent, as you would say, who knows the financial situation of the country. And he's basically saying to the small man, you re-elect me, I'm going to ensure that life is better and easier for you. I'm putting it in layman's terms. And if I go back to your statement, when you stated that the business sector, who will be paying a higher tax at the moment, they are lobbying for a delay at the moment. But there's no delay for the small man in this 2% tax, or is there any consultation, to ensure that it's much easier for them?
All right. So that was the exchange. Now, as I've been saying for the whole night, almost, I suppose, I believe, I understand that it is reasonable to believe that government know what they're doing. this statement. Well, firstly, when I listened to the minister, and when I compare and juxtapose that with the budget speech of 2009, I don't see a difference. I see both things saying the same thing. That's me. I don't know about you. That's what I see. I don't have a problem if a manifesto was written and promises were made in the manifesto and things would have changed after the manifesto was written that would affect what was written in the manifesto. It would be foolish for any reasonable person to believe that that's a reasonable position to take. If the circumstances would have changed after the fact, I understand that. But if the statement was made in 2023, I think we had election on the 18th of January 2023, and the ABSD increase was effective on the 1st of January 2024. Let's call it the year after. All what Melford is talking about would have been in existence prior to 2023. So when the statement was made or when the promise was put in the manifesto, what I hear people refer to as a social contract, right? When that was put in the manifesto, what were persons thinking? That's all that I would want to try and find out. Because the situation with everything that Melford spoke about, the increase, all of that predated the elections. All of that predated the elections. So I really don't accept what Melford is saying. I don't accept it at all. And I wanted to contemplate, and again, I wanted to go back and read what was said. But because if we are to accept what the Minister Nicholas, is saying to be reasonable, when they would have made a promise and they would have gone back on the promise because of that. If that is reasonable and we are to accept that, why can't we accept what took place in 2009? Isn't the money that the government is getting now to address, what's the exact word? The money that the government is getting now from the increase, isn't that helping to stabilize the fiscal situation in Antigua and Barbuda? So what's the difference? Anyway, I just wanted to put that on the table because I didn't want for the minister to believe, right, that he come and he talk them things then everybody swallow it. As Antiguans would say, he like said I had trang for Giselle. Not Giselle, what's her name? Nikki. Like said I had trang for Nikki. You know what I mean? And I think that Nikki was right on point. I think the question was a reasonable question to put to, and unless the minister is going to come and tell me that politicking and governance is two different things, so that we can understand that when you're politicking, you say anything you want to say, but when it comes to reality, that's not how it works. If you're going to say that, then say that. But don't tell me that there's a difference between your government making promises, going into government, and then when you go into government, you can say, well, no. Can't accept the one there. Can't accept the one there, and I just wanted to put that on the record. And another thing the minister would have said, no, that would have been from the 11th, the last press conference. And again, after the general elections, we would have heard, valves are turned off in order for this and all kind of thing. Let me just take this call here. That's up and down. Good night, caller.
Yeah, good night, Dave, and a pleasant calendar coming out.
Same to you, sir.
Yeah, no, I just want to make it short,
Go ahead, you're on the air.
I mean, let's say, when you're outside, you can score runs. But when you're inside, it's a different story, you know?
Uh-huh.
That's politics. My brother, take care. God bless you.
Okay. All right, man. Thanks much. All right. So, that's what that call opinion is. When you're outside and when you're inside, it's two different things. Okay. I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with that at all. I don't have a problem with that at all. Only thing that I would say to that is that if that's the standard, then that's the standard for everybody. That's why I look at it. If that is the standard, that becomes the standard for everybody, not for one party and not the next. That's what I would say with that. Yes, going back to the minister from last week.
So you take, for instance, Antigua Public Utilities Authority, of which I have ministerial responsibility now. When we do get to the position where the public utility generates a surplus, the corporation itself being 100% owned by the government, what do we do with that surplus?
All right, so the minister was talking about, there's a cabinet decision circulating where the cabinet have decided that 50% of statutory body profits should go to the consolidated funds. And of course that caused a stir. And after the things started circulating, the Prime Minister came and said that does not apply to medical benefits, Social Security. I think there's a third one. Medical benefits, Social Security. I don't know what's the third. Education levy, maybe? It doesn't apply to those three. Well, when I read it rather, because I said it was being circulated. Okay, no, before I go to the context in which Minister was saying what you're saying, let me go back to it. Because again, as I was saying, remember, after the election, it was being said that persons was locking our valve and this and that, and we would have already heard. I can go back to the recordings where I'm not even sure up to now. I must try to find out that that the loan that they were supposed to be getting from the bank when a number of banks were supposed to be coming together. I'm not even sure that they've gotten those monies. And we were saying that how can you expect to do everything in hand of money? Well, the minister on the 18th now, when he says that when the corporation gets to the point where it can turn a profit, blah, 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 it must mean then, even when it gets to the point, it must mean that it's not at the point where it's making a profit, yeah? And if it's not at the point where it's making a profit, and you can't get the loan to do the money, what APA take for do what they want to do?
So you take, for instance, Antigua Public Utilities Authority, of which I have ministerial responsibility now. When we do get to the position where the public utility generates a surplus, the corporation itself being 100% owned by the government, what do we do with that surplus?
Right, so I just wanted to put that, because as my father used to tell me, Dave, when people talk, listen. When people talk, listen. You're going to hear one piece today, maybe a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. You're going to hear the other piece, and then you're able to connect up the dots. You know what I mean? So as I hear these things when they come to me, I just smile to myself, APO is not in a position, according to what the minister is saying, because they're not making a profit. They can't give them a profit. When I heard that, I smiled to myself, because I can speak for state insurance, and I believe that most other statutory bodies was set up in that way. In that, I'm going back to when state insurance was a statutory body, right? And I know it's a company. Once at the end of the year, once they do their figures, and they would have taken out the monies with the different reserves, account, etc., etc., etc. Once they would have taken out the expenses and a profit remains, then that profit goes to the consolidated funds. That's what the law said. I was supposed to go back and look for my old law. I didn't remember to do it, but I'm going to do it and come and read it. That's what the law says. Then the government then changed that and said that, and I'm just paraphrasing it, and said that these profits from these corporations and government-owned entities should now go to NAMCO. I don't know if people remember that. And I think they called NAMCO investment something or something like that. So when I heard that 50% should go to the consolidated fund, the first thing that ran to my mind was to NAMCO. Does the other 50% go to NAMCO, or what? Or does the other 50% stay within the organizations to recapitalize them, etc.? And if that is the case, then what has become of NAMCO? Is NAMCO still existing? Just some questions coming out of that. But what I wanted to capture was that the minister was saying, this was been the 18th of January, APUA was not in a position, right, to take that, because obviously he's not making a profit. And if he's not making a profit, if he can't get the loan, right, this cock and bull, they hear people talking about valves and this and that, and where's the money supposed to come from for the repiping, etc., etc., etc. So I just wanted to put that there. Time now in studio is 10:34 p.m. and I'm going to be looking to get out of here. Just now, I see the mouse here moving. I see the mouse here moving here over Sean folder. Let me see what they say that they should play. What about 3 of them they have here, and then I will look to get out of here. Let me see the first thing that they say. This one here.
Hey, Manhunt.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me send sympathy greetings to the family of John Jarvis. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to ask a question. Who is responsible for selecting someone to replace him?
Who is responsible
for selecting someone to put someone else there?
That's
I don't know, because Lord,
that's a
heaven
question.
help us all, because I can't forget 2004 election. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we were hanged by the balls.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Yeah.
And I don't want us to go through that again.
Media is asking the question now that Mr. Jarvis has passed. Who is responsible?
Wait, we're going about balls and all again. Hung by the balls? Who was hung by the balls? We're going.
Hey, Manhunt.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me send sympathy greetings to the family of John Jarvis. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to ask a question. Who is responsible for selecting someone to replace him?
Who is responsible
for selecting someone to put someone else there?
That's a.
I don't know, because Lord,
that's a
heaven
question.
help us all, because I can't forget 2004 election. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we were hanged by the balls.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And I don't want us to go through that again.
Media is asking the question now that Mr. Jarvis has passed. Who is responsible to replace him?
For the replacement, yes.
Yeah, who is responsible to provide his replacement? I think that as the government and we have the majority, I think that we are that on the electoral commission we are entitled. We will have the chairman, and so then I think that the prime minister may be that person.
Well, okay, because yes,
who will
but
have
we tell him, remember when you're going to choose someone. Remember 2004 election. Aye. Also, Manhunt, when you hear you're going to the government office and is a UPP at the helm and the Labour Party going there, they string us by the balls.
Tall, you look like some medium problem with balls. Come in and so shit talk about balls. So, but anyway, okay. All right, that's the first. Why is it play this next? What is one episode?
I just want people to understand that whenever we come here, whatever we do, a lot of times we get instructions as well. You know that, Lamin? Mm-hmm. We get instructions. And when those instructions are given, we decipher how we would advance. Sometimes there are times that we'll have to talk to a number of people before we come to the airwaves. Respect that. It's not everything that you have to beat down on this radio station. This is a new year. And we just want you all to understand that it is incumbent on us to do the talking here and to defend our political organization. Such a great organization, the Antigua Barbuda Labour Party. There are members within the party too, and I must say this, who there are times that you'll call us up and so on, and you too will make some suggestions, and we welcome them. But we have a fight on our hands. If you listen to Pringle, for example, in his New Year's message, even though we're talking about growth and so on, he's talking about people with anxiety and the economic challenges and so on. Everybody has challenges right now throughout the entire world, economically. Everybody. So I don't know where he's going with this. Anyway, you heard him, by the way, Lennox? Yeah, you heard him, Lamin?
I did. I really didn't listen to it in its entirety.
I want to play a part of it.
Right? And my reason for not doing so is because I really couldn't listen to the garbage. And I'll be honest, right? But Senator, you know, the point that you're making about certain people saying that you're playing Jackie Quinn too often and so on, right? Now, I think we have a responsibility here to show the nation, you know, where the lies are and to correct.
I just want people to understand that whenever we come here, whatever we do, a lot of times we get instructions as well. You know that, Lamin? We get instructions. And that whenever we come here, whatever we do, a lot of times we get instructions as well. You know that, Lamin? We get instructions. And when those instructions are given, we decipher how we would advance. Sometimes there are times that we'll have to talk to a number of people.
All right, okay. If that's how they work, that's how they work. If those are the instructions that they're given and they carry the instructions, do that. Well, me I'm brain for myself. Me not like Driftwood and Driftwood say, do you have a brain? No, me I'm brain. Me I'm a brain for myself.
Colin, I just want to say our comrades are sitting back on our laurels. I think we are too quiet. The UPP is out there on a rampage. They are telling all kind of lies and saying all kind of things against our government, our ministers and our prime minister.
Yeah.
We have this young man named Carl Jetwood. I don't know what he need to be muzzled. I don't know, but he need to be muzzled. But what I'm saying, we have the PM, we have all them, I will say, chairman and all them young people that did the PM in power, you know, hear no them voice. You know, hear no them voice. Now them don't get them position and them don't get what they want, you know, hear them. They need to rise up. We're doing well, so that we need to rise up.
I'm glad that you're touching that topic because
and let our voices be heard.
We had a young man in here who's Dominican and I'm waiting to hear them with the nonsense, Mr. Tit.
The young man from...
Oh man, sorry about that. What did I do?
Jennings?
No. This is a fella from Dominica, a young gentleman from Dominica. He was in studio with us for the better part of about 2-3 hours.
I don't know
on Saturday, he was sitting right here.
Oh yes,
Mr. Tit. Mr. Tit. I think he's going to be working with GIS, and I'm sure, obviously.
Oh, the GIS man from Dominica?
Yes. So we should see some more information generated. Oh Lord, no good, Jack. I just spoke with her, by the way, because I noticed. Okay.
Well, I didn't realize she was not at ABS. No.
Young man from Jennings?
No. This is a fella from Dominica, a young gentleman from Dominica. He was in studio with us for the better part of about 2-3 hours.
I don't know
on Saturday, he was sitting right here.
Oh yes,
Mr. Tit. Mr. Tit. I think he's going to be working with GIS, and I'm sure, obviously.
Oh, the GIS man from Dominica?
Yes. So we should see some more information generated. Oh Lord, no good, Jack. I just spoke with her, by the way, because I noticed. Okay.
Escape by the skin of your teeth. In 5 years you lose 3 seats. The voter verdict now official was too much business as usual. Many claim they don't see difference. The two parties is the same. They now have evidence. It's only change of color and name. And they want to run, but they have to stay. Back to bird is no kind of plan. So they glad, real glad that the PM say Business as usual.
10:42 p.m.
Stop the business as usual. Man be thief into clay.
Let me just say thank you to those persons who WhatsApp. Thank you for staying the course with me tonight.
Some is full-time and barren.
To those who just listen, the silent majority.
Driving the biggest.
Hey, thank you for staying the course with me again. Hey, to our online audience.
They hear what the voters say.
Hey, thank you.
Cause Baldwin repeated the other day.
Hey, God's willing.
And
I should be back next Saturday night, 8 p.m.
Business as usual.
As I said.
It's not enough.
Hey, one just God's willing. Hello, good night, caller.
Hey, greetings to you, man. Greetings to the new year. Compliments to
hey,
you, brother.
Same to you and your family, Bubbler.
Yeah, man. I wish you all the best in your endeavors, you know what I mean?
Thank you very much, man.
I hope life being successful and prosperous for all of us, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm saying have a good night, my brother.
All right, man. You and your family also, right? Health first and then everything after that.
Jesus first and then health come after.
I can live with that. Thanks for the correction. Blessings, man.
All you check what you nearly do. Return us to the bird stew. And yet some of you still have the gall with your business as usual. Too much work left halfway finished. Abuse if you criticize. Arrogant and liquish. Too much will dress up in cheap disguise. But I hope the people message loud and clear. We don't want bird in any form.
Yes, as I was saying.
So
hey, remember.
I mentioned.
Hey, to try to keep us safe as possible.
Business as usual.
Hey, for the ladies who reside alone. Hey, burn the little extra electricity.
Stop the business.
Your security is priority number one.
Standing must.
And remember.
Too much business.
Hey, to keep the Almighty God as your guide.
To dry up.
Because once God is in your boat,
secret company.
You'll be able to smile at the storm.
For them.
And never forget.
Paper bag every Friday.
If God brings you to it,
no problem.
He will bring you through it.
What the voters say. Cause Baldwin repeated today this name. And I know repeating it in song. Business as usual is not an option. Changes must be substantial. Business as usual is not optional. Trevor, Chester, Errol and John. Business as usual is not an option.
So until we come together again. Hey, remember. Hey, look out for your loved ones, man. Look out for your friends. Let me repeat that. Look out for your friends.
Well, I know that they're not underage, so they must get the message. Stop demonizing the national. Look, it's too much business as usual. Every day in a money suit, can't roll up their shirt sleeve. Hard work they're afraid to shoot. We not really sure now what they believe. Big country now facing a big crisis. We still not own anti-bird mess. Everywhere is malpractice. Business as usual, stifling with progress. Stop the business as usual. Keep your ears to the ground. Too much business as usual. Humble yourself this time around. The birds all turn to chicken hawk to escape 1735. So how come you dare make him skylark, but them still outside a tribe? But I know you hear what the voters say. Cause Baldwin repeated last Saturday, and I know repeating it in song. Business as usual is not an option. Changes must be substantial. Business as usual is not optional.
I'm out of here.
Everybody asking me
nation. After all these years, professing to be a Christian, they say at my age I can't make the grade, but of those young boys I am not afraid. They don't have good diction and clarity. None of them can sing or perform better than me. But like John the Baptist, I am a messenger, bringing a warning to people the world over. There'll come a day of reckoning, and no man will ever get away. I say, there'll come a day of reckoning, when for all our bad deeds we will have to pay. The many wrongs we did in secrecy, we thought what it ends from everybody. They will be all brought to light, and many wrongs will be made right. So fall on your knees and pray, and turn back from your wicked ways. Oh, reward for the good ones, punishment for the bad ones. As long as this earth rolls around the sun, that day must come. Disconcerting the bad exposure our young ones getting, not just from movies, but from many in the community. Our leaders everywhere should set the example. Most are immoral and corrupt and irresponsible. I am so ashamed of their gross dishonesty, ruling by fear and favor, victimizing who disagree. From the laws of their country, they might get away, but they better take heed to what I have to say. There'll come a day of reckoning, and no man will ever get away. I say, there'll come a day of reckoning, when for all our bad deeds we will have to pay. The many wrongs we did in secrecy, we thought what it ends from everybody. They will be all brought to light, and many wrongs will be made right. So fall on your knees and pray, and turn back from your wicked ways. Oh, reward for the good ones, punishment for the bad ones. As long as this earth rolls around the sun, that day must come. Are ominous. The last days are right here on us. Bible prophecies, predictions say that these will be the conditions. Suicide bombers and terrorist acts are everywhere. Drugs, crime and violence have men in fear. Wars in Afghanistan and Iraq cause many deaths. Talks of peace in the solution yet. Men like Bin Laden and Saddam face the people here, but everyone will face the master of there. There'll come a day of reckoning, and no man will ever get away. I say, there'll come a day of reckoning, when for all our bad deeds we will have to pay. The many wrongs we did in secrecy, we thought were hidden from everybody. They will be all brought to light, and any wrongs will be made right. So fall on your knees and pray, and turn back from your wicked ways. We want for the good ones, punish them for the bad ones. As long as this earth rolls around the sun, that day must come. Lord, guide my people. Lord, protect my brothers and sisters. See a man doing right, he will not be afraid of the daylight. But when he is covering down, bet your life he is doing something wrong. It makes no difference if somebody sees. He will pay for his wrongs eventually, just like Adam and Eve when they disobey. After 900 years, they still have to pay. So turn back, my friends, and seize the opportunity. Do what is right and live to eternity. There'll come a day of reckoning, and no man will ever get away. I say, there'll come a day of reckoning, when for all our bad deeds we have to pay. The many wrongs we did in secrecy, we thought were hidden from everybody. They will be all brought to light, and any wrongs will be made right. Fall on your knees and pray, and turn back from your evil ways. We want for the good ones, punish them for the bad ones. As long as this earth rolls around the sun, that day must come. There will come a day of reckoning. There will come a day. You will deliver us, you will protect us, and you will guide us through the rough days, Lord. A day will come, a day will come, a day of reckoning.
Located in the capital city. Studios located in the capital city of St. John's, Antigua in the Caribbean Sea.
Okay, stop that!
And our transmitter located at the highest point, Boggy Peak in the parish of St. Mary. This is ZDK Liberty Radio International, 97.1 FM, the People's Radio Station. ZDK Liberty Radio International from St. John's, Antigua, People's Radio Station.